Hello everyone, welcome to our 11th episode of J-Syd InstaLive. My name is Jessica and today's episode is all about kimono. To tell us more about kimono, we're bringing on a very special guest, Tae Gessner, who is a kimono specialist. Tae is going to be explaining more about the history of kimono, some of the accessories that are used when wearing kimono, how she first started practicing in Japan and then later in Australia, as well as illustrating some of the differences between yukata and kimono. As a reminder, if you'd like to watch any of our previous J-Syd InstaLive episodes, you can always find them on our IGTV on Instagram, or else you can go to our website, click on Information and Culture, go to J-Syd InstaLive, and then you'll find the archives there. Let's get started. Hello, Tae.
Hello, Jessica-san. How are you?
I'm very good. It's lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Let's start off with kimono, our main topic. So many people in Australia have heard the word kimono, but can you explain a little bit more about what kimono is?
Kimono, Japanese people know kimono means things to wear, like clothes to wear. So kimono used to be like everyday clothes, but it's a traditional clothes, of course, everyone knows. But these days, from the everyday clothing to special occasion clothing. So as you know, if you go to Japan, you don't see many people wearing kimono anymore. But long time ago, kimono was the daily kimono. Like my mother, she used to wear kimono every day. Yeah, when I go back to Japan, it's so like you don't really see many people wearing kimono at all. If you see people wearing kimono, it's just like you stand up a little bit. So kimono, history of kimono goes back to around 8th century. We used to have very simple clothing before that, like maybe just a piece of fabric and then make a hole to put your neck face through and then tie the knot. So that's the basic clothing we started. In Heian era, which is about around 8th century, we started to form the clothing called like the kimono now. We changed the style, we changed the length, lots of things. They formed the clothing called kimono. The interesting thing about kimono is that because kimono's history is a long time ago, you can see the kimono, it's quite different from Western clothes. Do you know the kimono is made from all straight lines? You can see, especially this kimono called furisode. This is for a special kimono for coming of age. But you can see just the straight lines like this. Yeah. Only curved line is we used for end of the sleeve, like this little bit. You can see on furisode, and then around the collar here. Otherwise, it's all straight. So I just wanted to show you. It's quite basic. This one is called kimono tanmono. So it's just the fabric, roll of fabric. This is katazome, yes. This is about 30 centimeter wide. And how long do you think it is?
Oh, I don't know. That looks like a very long roll.
This is about 12.5 meters long.
Oh, wow.
So what we do is we don't waste any of the fabric. We start cutting, like starting from like sleeves or body. So you can see this width goes like here. And this, you can see all the parts are coming from this long roll of fabric. And kimono, we have different types of fabric, but main kimono is silk, like this one, and then this one I'm wearing, and the red one too. And silk kimono is really good for wearing year around. Like in summer, we have lots of holes in kimono. You probably don't know if you don't wear kimono. We have hole here, and then we have hole underarm, like here. Yes. And then because we have the kimono putting a fabric together, we have lots of place to air to go through. So it's quite cool in summer. And then winter, we can wear lots of kimonos, or because silk is a very nice fabric, you keep you cool but also warm. And then long time ago, I don't know if you ever had Juni Hitoe. Juni Hitoe is actually a kimono with 12 different layers. In Japan, long time ago, we don't have, of course, we don't have heaters, and then most of the houses are wooden houses. In winter, it gets really, really cold. So they have to wear many, many layers. But good thing about having the lined kimono, just straight line, is you can wear many, many layers. Like Western clothes, you can't wear too many inside. It will be too tight. But kimono, you can keep wearing over and over because it's all straight, and then similar, like basic is the all same line. And then in later on Kamakura era, which is about 1192 or around there, the clothing, kimono is not just like clothing, but also treated like a little bit more treasure, family treasure, because it was quite expensive. And then we started to give the kimono from generations to next generation. So it's like an art piece. And then so people don't just wear, keep it, and then sometimes they sold the kimono to make money and all this. And then later on, like about Meiji era, after we stopped closing the country, we started to have more foreign culture. So of course we have Western clothes, and then people start wearing more Western clothes, not so much kimono. And then now Showa later, I think kimono is much more like you wear for celebrations or special occasions. Typical one is like weddings or coming of age, or for children, we have Hichigo-san. Hichigo-san is, if you are learning Japanese, you know 753 numbers. Long time ago, a lot of children died when they are very young age because they didn't have good food and all these situations. So we try to celebrate 3 and 5 and 7, and then wish for them to grow nicely. So that's the kimono is like. But also a lot of things are changing, because I told you kimono was treated like family treasure before. But nowadays what's happening is that some people don't even know, Japanese people don't even know how to wear kimono. Or even if they know how to wear kimono, they think it's a bit too much trouble. Because kimono doesn't have any zippers or pocket. It takes a little while to wear kimono. So that's why, even like, for example, your grandma had a beautiful kimono, people don't want to keep it. So people starting to sell and give away things like that. So even if you go online, you can buy kimono for quite good price, like really cheap, for silk fabric. Good thing is that because it's more affordable, anyone can enjoy wearing kimono. So yes, that's about kimono, like from 8th century to now.
Yes, thank you, Taya. That's really interesting.
So kimono is quite simple, but you need few accessories, and then that's a part of fun too. Like you can choose different design, different color, and things like that. I like to show you from the beginning, when you try to wear kimono, what you need to wear. So as I told you, kimono is made with silk fabric. So it's not easy to clean. It's not like a cotton. You can put it in the washing machine or anything. You have to look after it. We can't, when we sweat or anything, we need to have hadaki, like singlet, this kind of thing, right next to your body. So even if you sweat, or if your smell or something, this one will take everything. So this one is called haragi. And then the big difference between Western clothes and then kimono or Japanese clothes is that Western clothes is try to show your body lines, like, beautiful line, curved line, waist and everything. But for kimono, maybe you had that we try to make the body nice and straight, like a pole. Yeah, not so much curved body. So this one is to put around the waist. It could be just a piece of towel, but it goes around the waist. So the curved line, this one is for the back. So the waist to the bottom, there's a little bit of curved line. So we put this one to make the line straight. So this is called hose. And then I'm sure you have seen before, we are wearing tabi. Tabi is the one that you can also enjoy. Like formal one is always white, like this. But you can also choose designed one like this one, or there are lots of different ones. And I think Australian people like songs. I see many people wearing songs. So this is like a formal way of like tabi and zori. Because you put the thumb and then other fingers. And then this tabi is actually good, very good for your health, because your body is very settled. And then, like if you're wearing high heel, your body is sometimes not really balanced. But with this one, it's really easy to walk. And then also body is very settled. The tabi goes in like this. So your finger is actually free in the tabi. And then tabi is not really a hard one. It's just a cotton, not like shoes. It's you squeeze your fingers. So really good for your health. And then tabi usually have back sole is like this. It's a little bit hard. You never feel like you fall or you are imbalance. Next one is hang eri. Like I brought 3 of them. This one, we put it on the nagajiban. I don't know if you can see my one today. My one has white with gold embroidery here. This is one of the nagajiban, and then I put this beautiful hang eri. So when it gets dirty, you can change to different one, or if you like to have different color, you can change. And next one, we can do more to be fashionable. Kimono has lots of colors. This one is called kasane eri. Like I only brought black and red, but many different colors. This one is to make it more like you are wearing layers of kimono. As I told you before, a long time ago, we are wearing like 12 or many different layers of kimono, but these days we don't need that. So what we do is we put this one between the nagajiban hang eri and kimono. When you wear kimono like this, to make it like you are wearing another layer of kimono. These ones are also all silk and then beautiful fabric. So you show tiny bit of color, but if you wear nice kimono, the color makes a huge difference. Basic thing we need is koshimo. This is about 2 meters. This is silk, doesn't have to be silk, but because I said there's no pocket zip or button to wear kimono, we tie the kimono with strings like this. Okay. And then there's another string called datejime. The difference between the koshimo and datejime is the width. This is wider, so when you tie around your body, instead of thin strings, this one covers wider area. There are lots of things still going. This one called obi makura. Makura is pillow, but it's not for sleeping. It's for the obi. If you can see my obi, I've got obi makura in here where you can see my fingers. So instead of just holding the obi, we need a little bit of more volume or fluffy area like the top. So we put this one. When we wear kimono, we put this one here. So this one is called obita. Obita is what I have now too. Because we are putting the sash, this obi sash, all around the body, we have fabric sometimes got lots of wrinkles. So if we put this one here between the obi, and then we put this obijime. So this one doesn't have any wrinkle because it's got the board in here. It's not protecting from someone stabbing, but this one helps you look really nice. The obi, if the obi is nice and straight, the pattern comes up nicely, beautiful. So we put this one in. Similar kind of hidden accessories we have, which is very important, is called erishin. This one called erishin. Eri is color. So as you know, Japanese kimono, we have a little bit of like about one fist size of space behind the neck. So I showed you the nagajiban like this before. We put this one inside the haneri, the eri, to make nice, beautiful curve behind the neck. Otherwise, if you don't have this, the fabric is very soft, so it's not gonna stand. So these things are all the accessories we use to wear kimono. Do you remember how many we had? You don't have to have this one, everything. As I said, like Jose, you can just wear towel, just a towel to wrap around. This board, you can make it with the cardboard. You can just cut like this one. It's nothing like you have to have this. Two things that really obvious accessory that I want to show you is that show you with this frisone. So this is the kimono, and then this is the sash. And then we have very visible accessories called obijime, which is I have red and green today. But if you can see my kimono, this is obijime. This one is to hold the kimono obi. After we make the shape, this one is to keep the shape in place. And obiage, this one is, I don't know if you can see my yellow here. Yes, this is to cover. I showed you the obi makura that we need for making the obi more beautiful and then volume. We cover this one with obiage like this in the back. So you can see my back. You can see the yellow goes to the back and then covering my obi makura pillow. But because it's a nice thing to show, I can show a little bit of different color in the front as well. So it's like a color combination. You can change this one to different color or this, and then nagajiban hangeri. Many things you can add the color. And of course, nagajiban, I told you, this one is like a green. This is underwear, so you don't really show. But when you are moving your hands, like my kimono too, I have shibori nagajiban like this. So you can show a little bit. So some people like having really nice patterned nagajiban like this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Taya. There's so many accessories.
So many, yes.
How do you choose nice color combinations?
It's your personal opinion, but what we do is, like, for example, this frisone has red, but the black on the bottom. I chose the black obi, and then maybe like a red obijime, and then maybe a little bit different color. So you can have different style. You can have totally different color, not from the kimono, or you can pick the color from either the kimono or obi. I was born in Aichi, near Nagoya, called Kasugai City. My mother used to have her own business selling kimono, but she didn't really have a shop. She hired a place and then she had really like a kimono sale every season, because kimono is like a seasonal clothing. We have summer kimono, like this one mannequin is wearing is yukata, which is summer kimono, or this one is for coming age. And then also, of course, we have lots of different patterned kimono. Some is for autumn, some is for winter. So yeah, we had kimono exhibition kind of thing. And then I always helped her. And after that, I thought I really like kimono. I went to kimono school in Nagoya. Have you had Matsuzakaya department store? It's a long history, but the Matsuzakaya was running girls' school to know sewing, kimono, flowers, tea ceremony, all this Japanese traditional culture. So I went to kimono division, and then I started studying about history, how to wear kimono, how to make kimono. I was always surrounded by kimono and all this. And then every time my mother had kitsuke, kimono dressing class at home, I helped. And then anytime she had the event, I went along and then I helped.
I think it makes a lot of sense how you became inspired to start learning kimono.
But I didn't think I'll be doing kimono in Australia. Last time I came to Australia, I didn't see sushi. Like, people thought sushi is a strange food. I remember like my son or my daughter brought obento, and then they had seaweed, and then other students said, oh, he's eating something black. So when I came to Australia, I think Japanese culture wasn't really known, or people are not so interested in different countries' culture. So I could wear kimono, but I only wore kimono when my son entered Sydney Japanese school. And then after that, I didn't do anything about kimono. I just thought kimono is like a Japanese traditional clothes, and then something you wear in Japan.
How did you go from not wearing it very often to wearing it a lot and introducing it into Australia?
So that was my turning point, because I went to there's a ryokan Japanese boutique hotel in Gojuan in Balmain. And then they are having a lot of workshop for Japanese traditional things like temari or origami, calligraphy, and all this. And then I joined for kimono. And then I started meeting lots of people, not only Japanese, Australian people who loves kimono. Then they could wear kimono, start watching YouTube video, and then how to wear kimono and all this. And then I just thought that this is wonderful. I met all these people who are not even Japanese, but wearing kimono, enjoying. They could do color coordination, and then, they can even tell the kimono history. And then I thought, I could do something with this. And then I started the International Kimono Club Sydney. It's already been 8 years since I started. It's a long time. Since then, I almost create monthly event, going to, sometimes there's an urban Japanese garden. So we go there in autumn to see the color changing, or like we go to Kara for Sakura festival, and then all this. One thing I found is that I thought kimono is for you wear in Japan, but wearing in overseas means a lot more. And then also kimono is very interesting because you have obi here, so your posture is always nice. Reminds me to put my back straight and all this, because as I said, the movement is restricted. it kind of makes it more elegant. You don't have big step, and then you have to have extra time to do things, but that all adds to like a elegant movement of kimono. I'm very surprised Australian people have really good feeling about Japanese kimono, and then hopefully Japanese people too.
And I think we think that kimono is very beautiful and, as you said, elegant.
So I put one on here. I recommend if anyone wants to start wearing kimono, yukata, which is the summer kimono, like this one. Because Australia is warm weather, this yukata is very easy to wear and then also very easy to maintain. So the big difference between kimono and then yukata, I just wanted to explain why I'm recommending yukata. Yukata is cotton, so easy to wash. By the way, this yukata is called Arimatsu Shibori, which is near where I was born. Shibori is the technique of dyeing. They pinch the fabric and then put the thread and then put the color, so you can see all the dots. And then you can see it's all single layer. There is no other one, so it's quite light and then easy to wear. I brought 3 types of obi. This one called Hanhaba obi, which is about 15 centimeter width and then about 3 meters long. I explained about this obi, which is fukurobi. This one is about 30 centimeter width and then 4.5 meter long. The reason why this one's long is because we make a lot of different shapes of the obi. So we need more length. But this one is shorter and then not so wide. So very easy to make a shape. This one, I made the ribbon on the back with the obi, and then I just made one side is a little bit longer. This one called kata nagashi. So all you need to do is you put twice around your body, and then you tie, and then you make a ribbon. You just have to make sure, as I said, the kimono is all made from straight lines. So the one on the back called senui, this one has to go along your spine. If this one is on the side, this curve is not going to be nice and straight too. It's going to be on the side, and then your body looks a little bit like not so, yeah, your posture doesn't look great. This one is very easy. You just put 2 together, and then you put koshimo, the strings, and then put this one around, and then put the obi over it. Like I found very casual obijime. So if this is too simple, you can make a knot to make something more interesting, like this. If you want to. We have lots of different yukata. This is another yukata we have, like really bright design with gold pattern. And then this is obi. And yukata sets, these ones are very cheap these days because they are already made. And then this one is not actually silk, it's a polyester. But because it's so soft, you can easily make ribbons.
I'm not very good at tying obi.
Well, I think practice makes perfect. The reason why I started the International Kimono Club Sydney is because kimono is, if you are just practicing how to wear kimono, it's not much fun. You actually have to wear and then do something. If you come to kimono club and then you don't know how to do obi, I can suggest how to do it, or all the other members can help you what to do. Or if you have no idea which kimono, which yukata to wear, if you come to International Kimono Club Sydney, which is non-profit organization, so you don't need any member fee or anything, and then you join and then you meet people who likes kimono, and then we can exchange the information, where to buy, what's good, what's not, and then all this. So it's quite fun. And then if we go somewhere together with members, it's quite nice because it's a special occasion, and then we do like talk about it, and then you are not alone, and it makes a very special event.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So where can people find information on your events if they want to join you?
We have Facebook page, International Kimono Club Sydney, and then also I just started Instagram. So if you keep an eye on Facebook page or like Instagram, we often have free event like picnic or you just join. The very next one we are doing is actually tomorrow. We are going to do kimono de yoga. Personally think wearing kimono is like yoga. You have to put your arms on the back. You have to keep your posture nice and straight. So it's already yoga kind of thing. But one of the members is a yoga teacher. So she's going to tell us the movement we can do yoga in kimono. Interesting thing is that 80% of the members are non-Japanese, but they like Japanese culture or learning Japanese language. All I want to do is that, like I said, kimono is a very beautiful traditional clothes, but not only Japanese people to enjoy. I think kimono can make a different encounter. Kimono is just a clothes, but it's something special. And then also it's like an art. Sometimes kimono is to respect other people. For example, tea ceremony, you wear kimono, which is a quieter color, not so much bright patterns or color. Kimono, people think it's too much trouble to wear, but if you are a Japanese person, I'm sure once you wear kimono, you feel like, I'm really Japanese. And then also for non-Japanese people, if you wear kimono, I'm sure you like the patterns and the color, which is totally different from Western clothes. I know it's really hard to decide, or it's really hard to start. But once you start, you meet new people, new kind of way of looking at like Japanese culture. I really recommend people to try once. So, if you can join the event and then have a good time with Japanese culture.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's interview, Tae.
Thank you very much, Jessica-san.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。さようなら。